Questions about the iPhone and China looming large, and just as shares have started to climb again. Is the worst now behind the stock? It's a key question. Let's ask Wedbush's Dan Ives that question. He joins us here post 9. I mean, so what a difference a week makes. You know, you could have said, wow, the stock looks terrible. It's in a downtrend. Here we are. We're pacing for 5 up days, the best day since August 30th. It's back above the 200-day moving average. What's going to happen here?
I think it's going to be not just better than feared, but I'm expecting Cook's commentary on China to actually be cautiously positive, because what we're seeing in China, I'm not saying that it hasn't slowed since pre-orders, but I'm actually seeing a stabilization. I think demand from our perspective is actually going to show growth, especially when we go into the next few quarters. And that's what it's all about here in terms of whisper expectations that have come down. I think investors are viewing this in a glass half empty sort of view, and I think that's the wrong move.
So you don't believe the hype that Huawei's been taking market share from Apple in China?
I think about 100 bips of market share, maybe incremental in terms of what they've taken. I just got back from Asia, yesterday, and in my opinion, you're still seeing growth from a China perspective. And the most important things, guys, at ASPs, in terms of the Pro, we think it's going to be about 80% this time in China. A year ago, it was 60%. That ASP tailwind's important, especially going to the December quarter.
Is this the quarter where we finally reverse the year-on-year quarterly revenue declines? Because it's been 3 in a row, from down 5.5% to down 3% to down 1%. So are we back positive now?
I think we're basically back toward positive in the December quarter.
What's toward positive? We're toward positive last quarter.
So I think about 1% in terms of what we're going to see. But I think the important thing, what everyone's focused on, is December guidance. We think 5% incremental year over year. And as you've talked about a lot, that's important because you see unit growth from an iPhone perspective, and then services, which I view as really the golden goose in terms of the valuation. That's now back to double digits. So I think clearly there'll be some caution from a macro perspective, but we're not seeing any of the number cuts coming from the supply chain in China, which is why we sit here and we're bullish into the print.
So you're not worried at all about guidance about the holiday quarter, because others on the street who cover the stock are, even ones who are really bullish the name, like Eric Woodring over at Morgan Stanley. He's overweight the stock, but here's what he told me just the other day right on the set.
When we think about earnings on Thursday and the potential for Apple to guide the December quarter slightly below where consensus numbers are, again, is it thesis changing? No, but tactically, given what we've talked about in terms of the setup for tech this earnings cycle, I think it makes me a little bit more cautious.
Okay. Don't call him a hater, because he's not. He has overweight on the stock. What do you make of that?
I think whisper expectations are already expecting softness here. And what I think when it comes down to it, you're going to have iPhone unit growth that's probably 4 or 5%. So I think the December quarter, as he's talking about, definitely fears about cautious, really more negative commentary from Cook around China. I think there could be maybe a sprinkling of caution, but I think overall positive, and I think that's the important thing going into this quarter.
Well, what happens if there is, in your words, a sprinkling of caution around a stock that, let's be honest, it hasn't traded all that well over the last few months at all, despite what these last few days have brought us?
And I think the New York City cab drivers bearish on Apple relative to the China fear, the shadow ban. This is something that the last few months it's really been a massive overhang on the stock.
Smartphones have been weak, okay? We're not talking Apple, just more broadly. So are you assuming that that's trough, that's done, now we're back towards growth?
And I think what Qualcomm's even talked about, I think the smartphone recovery is starting here. And I think we look back 3-6 months from now, the trough and the worst is in the rearview mirror, despite what we're seeing in terms of China, where I'm not saying that that's not going to be sprinkled in here in terms of some little negative, but overall, what they're seeing in China, I think this is something where Apple is actually going to be surprised to the upside when we look at the next 2-3 quarters.